So we're back and we have on the phone Mr. John Ferretti. Did I say that right?
No, you got it right this time, John.
All right.
Ferretti.
Yeah, I got nervous. I had to say it right. All right.
That's
Do you mind if I
okay.
just call you John from here on?
That's fine. You can call me John. It's all right. I'll just call you Pete.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So, first of all, I want to hope that things are going well for you. I seen that you had a guy trying to help you out with a GoFund. I know you got hurt on the job. How's that going on right now?
Well, actually, I'm waiting for a workers' compensation board hearing next week on the 18th. And basically, the MTA has kept me without pay for 3 months. It'll be by the time I do get paid. And they're denying well-documented injuries. I have spinal injuries. I have MRIs that document all of my injuries. I have nerve damage on both sides of my body. I have 4 herniated and bulging discs. And they know about all of this. And their doctor seen me for a total of 7 minutes and determined that I was perfectly okay to go back to work at a very labor-intensive, stressful job. Didn't care at all. And the same doctor I seen 3 straight times. The same IME. And then the last time, he threatened to call 911 on me because I asked him where he was certified to practice medicine, how long he's been in practice, what his specialty is, on what basis he could overrule the advice and the decision of my medical doctor, who has 22 years experience in workers' compensation and orthopedic medicine. So, yeah, this is what we face. And Joe was talking earlier about employee availability. I mean, it's just outrageous. It's an outrageous slander upon transit workers that the reason that we're not available for work is somehow we're lazy and shiftless. These are anti-worker, outright racist stereotypes that they heap upon us. These people have some nerve. They go to the MTA board, they go to the media, and they tell these lies about us. Pat Foy, who never worked a day in his life, a trust fund baby who's independently wealthy, sits on his ass and laughs at transit workers and makes fun of them and tries to set them up as if they're the reason why the transit system doesn't run, why they have a budget deficit and all this. And the problem is they get away with that because we have a weak, mealy-mouthed union leadership that doesn't advocate for members because they have no idea what we go through on an everyday basis. They haven't had to balance a budget in forever. They don't have to worry about whether they're going to find the money to pay the rent and pay the bills. They don't know what it's like to not have the best of everything. How could you negotiate as a union leader to tell your members that when their son has asthma and has to go to the hospital, that each time when most emergency rooms don't want to admit anybody, it's a revolving door. They give you medicine, they kick you out the door. Every time my son or daughter goes to the hospital, I'm going to pay $100 and multiply that times the tens of thousands of families down here. This is the kind of contempt that we face from management. And I expect nothing but that from management because that's who they are. But it's a disgrace that the people I have to speak for me have no idea what I go through on an everyday basis or you go through, and basically don't have any solidarity with me. Who they have solidarity with is Cuomo. So I want to leave time for you to ask questions, about things you want to know about,
No, you just talk about, well, what else can we, the whole...
What's your take on the contract?
Yeah, from what you've seen.
Well, from what I've seen, the wages are a wage cut across the board.
Well, the wages, basically...
Joe talked about that. I mean, look, this is not only Con Edison, it's rent. It's just the cost of food in this city. This is the second most expensive city to live in the entire United States, and it has been for a long time. And the really bad thing is that what they're doing is they're piling concessions on top of concessions. You guys know that we got a $500 lump sum bonus for this year. That's all we've gotten this year, right? So when you get a chump sum, that's a zero. Okay, so we got a zero for the first 5.5 months of 2019. no matter what happens with this contract. And the reason why we didn't get anything to compensate us for that is because first, Samuelson agreed to the 0, and Yatano is now agreeing that we should get nothing for that. They didn't negotiate higher wage increases for this year. In fact, the lowest wage increase is for this year, it's 2%, right? That's a huge gain for the MTA. And, you know, our union leaders have nodded their heads to it. And what's even worse is they agreed to it without even reading the contract.
That's what I heard. I was told that they did. Someone was saying that they did. Someone in the union was telling me that they did get to read it. And then there was, I forget her name, or someone posted something that they basically held the contract up. I don't know if you was looking, and with something covering, and they were letting them read the top, and then they would bring it up to show the bottom to the e-board.
That was Newton McLaurin.
I don't believe that.
Is that real? Did they actually do it like that?
That was Newton McLaurin, the train operator, executive board member, one of the members who voted no on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
She did a video talking about that. And her version of events is confirmed by 3 other executive board members that I talked to on the same day of the meeting. Do we really believe that these people got together and came up with a story and told exactly the same story on separate phone conversations, private phone conversations with me hours, literally hours after that meeting? I don't believe that. Not to mention the fact that Newt McLaurin, Evangeline Byers, and many other of my RTO executive board members are much more reliable in terms of providing members information and in an honest way than Tony Utano and Eric Logel and others have ever been. And I wouldn't believe anything they said. And not to mention the fact that there are recordings of this, so we could find out. If they wanted to prove that they were actually given copies of the actual contract,
mm-hmm.
they could prove it. But they haven't sought to prove it because they know it's a lie. And aside from which, just think about it this way.
And why would 44, 42 of them, why would all those vote yes without seeing it?
Well, because they're dependent upon Utano for release time. In RTO, not one of our RTO executive board members is on release time, and they chose not to be on release time for the specific reason that they didn't want to be bribed to vote a certain way on the contract. If you're dependent on your future union release time on the leadership of the union, you're going to vote the way they want you to vote. And look, the issue is that you think about it in your own life.
So
would you sign a rental agreement? What's that?
Yeah,
pretty much. But think about it in your own life. Would you sign a rental agreement where the renter will not show you the whole agreement, where you can read it in your hands and take your time to have a lawyer look over it?
You'd be an idiot. You'd be an idiot.
Would you sign a car lease under those circumstances? Would you do anything in your life that's going to affect you for the rest of your life, for the rest of your career? And you're gonna sign your name and say it's okay, and deal with all the responsibilities that go along with that, not just for yourself, but for tens of thousands of other members. That's a gross slap in the face to every member of this union, that the people on the highest decision-making body of the union don't give a shit about our members. They don't even care to read what the details of the contract is. And then they put, the contract has committee after committee after committee, and as Joe said, we can't control. If we vote yes, we can't control what decisions they're going to make behind our back. And they're going to tell us, oh, just trust us? Trust us? Somebody who is collaborating with management attacking our health benefits, somebody who collaborated with a 0 for this year, I should trust them that they're going to do what's in my interest? No, that can never happen. That can't happen. We cannot allow it.
So how do we pass the word to everybody else that, that doesn't, let's say, don't go online, doesn't see the things that are going on, doesn't hear?
Well,
because they just hear from the people of the depot, their chairman and all those people that are telling them, good deal.
Room lawyers.
Well,
and the new workers that are sitting around and, they're not going to listen to you.
Right. Well, the thing is, though, that we plan to build the most visible Vote No campaign in every department of this union. I mean, I've spoken with Evangeline, I've spoken with Nuke, I've spoken with Canelo Gomez and others who are against the contract, and we're going to be going out and being visible at every depot. But just to, we go into this with open eyes. I mean, I've been on Vote No campaigns before where the cops are called on Vote No members who are trying to talk to members in the depot. Okay, they've been threatened by security. They've engaged in harassment. But we're not going to bow down to that kind of that kind of cronyism and bullying, because that's not what our union was built on. And our union is just not going to survive if we continue down this path. And I think there's a lot of common grounds in multiple departments over the fact that we're not getting anything out of this contract, and we really have had no say. The members had to drag them kicking and screaming to even have a contract rally. For 5 months, they sat on their ass and they did nothing to mobilize struggle. The Long Island Railroad had a contract expired a month before our contract papers expired, and they waited until, just when the rally happened to even have them come and make a speech at our rally. And what we do affects other workers. If we set the pattern, it's going to be a pattern that's only lower than this. It's not going to be any higher for anybody else. Then they got a Me Too clause. They willfully lied to the membership. It's not a Me Too clause. You know what the Me Too clause says? The Me Too clause says that if Long Island Railroad gets a wage increase, that we could reopen the contract. It's the same as the previous Me Too clause. They have one meeting. Management says, no, we're not agreeing to that. Go kick rocks. And then what do? There's nothing enforceable in the contract. If we don't, language is important. If it's not enforceable, then you know how management is. They kick the door open, they push it wider, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. We cannot trust that these people have our best interests at heart.
They don't.
So we need the union to have our best interests at heart. And if those people who are on the executive board do not have our best interests at heart, we can remove them. We can recall them from office. Okay? We need members to understand that this is their union. It was built for them. It was not built for the officers. The officers are temporary. You're going to live with this forever.
And not to be scared. Not to be scared. They have a right.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have a right to say no.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, John, I'm going to thank you again.
Thanks for calling, bro.
Thank you so much for having me.
I do wish you a speedy recovery.
We're going to keep posting your...
I did want to ask, though, as far as you saying the MTA doctors are giving you all this problem, what about the union? Are they doing anything for you, or are they just...
Okay, my RTO VP said that he didn't do anything for me because I didn't appeal to him directly. He was CC'd on numerous emails, and apparently CCing him was not enough for him to realize that he should have my back. Eric Eddie Logel is pissed at me.
It's their job to look out for the membership.
Right, but see, that's the thing, is that we have leaders who think we work for them. They think that we should bow down and tell them how great they are, and that somehow, we should show them respect. But they don't understand that they work for us. And, unfortunately, Eric is a relatively new bureaucrat and a relatively new union officer, and he's deteriorated precipitously because Tony Utano is now his daddy. And Eric lied to members all over the place, telling them that he was against the way the TA treats us, that he wanted to be their voice, he wanted to amplify their voice. And then the minute he got in office, he turned his back on everything he said he was willing to fight for.
Sound like Trump.
And that's yeah, exactly. Well, he is the union version of Trump, unfortunately. Yeah.
Man,
Speaking of the union version of Trump, last night at the conductors meeting, he actually called the meeting to a halt because I wanted to raise a motion saying the Conductor Towers Division rejects the contract and calling for a general membership meeting, which is provided for in the bylaws of Local 100. And he unilaterally ended the meeting, saying that I was being disrespectful for even raising the motion.
Wow.
Unreal. Well, again, John, I want to thank you for the call in.
Thanks.
You could always call back during the week, whenever, if you got anything else to say
I know
about the contract.
Roberto Martinez available. Got to get in here.
He's going to get on to finish
Shout
off.
out to him.
The lady that you told us to call, she says she's not going to make it this time, so we'll have her another show, along with Nas. Yeah. Nas will also be calling in another show. And probably Yates. Probably Donald Yates will get him on the next show, hopefully. So,
okay, great.
Yeah, so
have a great night, guys.
You too.
All right,
Thank you.
Like what you watch, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button to stay up to date, and don't forget to like the video.